Hello, Wanderers. It's me, TINK-11000. I'm here with Alex West. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Alex. I am the co-founder, president, and CEO of Many Hands. Many Hands is the company that is making the Verses gaming ecosystem and the Verses TCG.
Now Alex, you mentioned the Verses gaming ecosystem. I think we would all love to hear more about that. What's it all about?
We are making the Verses TCG and Verses game ecosystem, and that is a collaboration between game designers, artists, and coders. We are starting by releasing our Foundation series of art, and these are key pieces of art made by world-famous science fiction and fantasy artists. Their works have been featured in games like Magic the Gathering. They've been the creators of the artistic styles in things like BattleTech, Shadowrun, Earth Dawn. They've been illustrators for movies like Birds of Prey or Suicide Squad, and they've made many, many book covers. And we are taking this art and making NFTs out of them for the first time, often the first time these artists have had NFTs made. And this Foundation series will be the foundation upon which we build all the stories and games that our team will create. So you are both getting the opportunity to get what will be a collector's piece that all of these other creations will reference. And you are also supporting our team creating the CCG and other games that we'll make, and our coders making the liberally licensed open source tools that others will be able to make games with and mod the games that we make with.
What an exciting and creative human enterprise. What was the inspiration for this project, and how long has it been in the works?
This project has been going on for almost a year now. We started when we were offered access to this incredible library of art by all these fantastic artists. And then we asked ourselves, what's the best thing that we can do with all of this beautiful art? And since Dan and I both have a deep TCG background, we thought, hey, we'll make a TCG out of this. And we're both perfectionists, so instead of bringing it to market early, we did a lot of development work and thinking through why this is going to be a great product.
I would really like to understand more about the game itself. What inspired it, and how will it be played?
When my son was 2, I took him down to PAX. I live in Seattle, so it was just a train ride away. And I put him up on my shoulders, and I was excited about taking him into the exhibition room. And I realized every single game was extremely violent, and that these were not the kinds of things I wanted to be showing my kid. So we ended up going to the kind of sides and finding games about making patterns and kind of bopping along to music. And it made me realize that most of the games that I've played throughout my entire life were violent, and I really wanted to make games that had non-violent narratives in them. When Dan and I looked at making a TCG out of all of the art that we have available to us, we wanted to make a TCG about building things. And so we reimagined the TCG. Instead of the other player being an opponent that you're dueling against and trying to destroy, instead we wanted to make a tableau where it built and you made patterns, and it was a kind of a race to see who can build the most beautiful, organized, strategic patterns before the other player. So we started looking at games like Go and Carcassonne and Dominoes and Scrabble, games that people really love where pattern formation is important. And we got really excited about putting beautiful pictures next to each other and getting the ability to put put cards in play that would determine goals and which patterns would be rewarded. And as we developed it, we found that it was really fun to play.
I also love patterns. Earlier you mentioned blockchain and NFTs. Why did you decide to use that technology?
The blockchain offers a really great way to track collectibles, and we think that there are lots of people who will experience joy having these digital collectibles, and we want to be a part of that. When I was 8, I got an Apple II computer, and I didn't know anything about programming, but it just seemed cool to play around with. And I feel like blockchain kind of inspires that same spirit. There's a really interesting technology. No one's exactly sure what the best way to use it is. And people on my team, me, we're all curious, and the opportunity to experiment and find a cool thing to do with this new toy is a big draw to the space.
With so many options, why Tezos?
Tezos is fast, cheap, and doesn't use more energy per token than a tweet on Twitter.
How many people work on Verses?
Our team has about 20 people. We have graphic designers, game designers, narrative designers, and project managers.
Well, that sounds like many capable hands. See what I did there? So, who are the founders of the company?
The founders of my company are myself and Dan Burdick. Dan Burdick is our Chief Vision Officer. He has an amazing imagination and really thinks through how to make things fun, inviting, and easy for people to get involved in. And he also dreams huge and has some really amazing ideas for how gaming can bring people together and how people can have really personal, meaningful experiences through games. And then I bring the business end of our company. I come from a family business where I've done everything from work on a factory floor to help with mergers and acquisitions. And my job is to find all the resources and people that Dan needs to make his visions a reality.
Alex, earlier you described Verses as pattern making. What will the gameplay be like?
Our game melds the strategic deck building and play aspects of games like Magic the Gathering or Hearthstone with the placement aspects of games like Go or Dominoes or Scrabble. And the result is surprisingly deep, where it's easy to play, but there's an enormous amount of depth if you want to sit there and analyze it.
What's the setting?
Our setting is the Verses. The Verses are all the multiverses of every story that has ever existed. And there are 6 major verses that we're starting with. The first verse is Fantasia. It's the realm of magic and folklore. So things like Dungeons and Dragons or the Wheel of Time. These are very Fantasia stories. Synthex is our science fiction realm where there's both technological and also philosophical progress, and a lot of your typical sci-fi stories happen there. There's Kaleidoscope, which is kind of the realm of ideas, so things like tarot cards or deep symbolism, kind of psychedelic stories or Alice in Wonderland type stories, all are Kaleidoscope stories. There's Gloom, which is the realm of horror, so anything that's very scary or fear-based, but also the realm of kind of entropy and the unknown and the unknowable. So H.P. Lovecraft stories where you're kind of exploring the edge of possibility or existence all fit in there. There's Comedia, which is the realm of wit and wordplay. It's also kind of the place where absurd things happen, like if an anvil falls out of the sky and crushes someone, but they're fine. That's Comedia. And then there is Proxima, which is the realm of everything that's kind of like our world, but not quite. So alternate histories, parallel worlds. If you ever watched the TV show Sliders, very Proxima.
Thanks so much. This art is available now at mentorpop.com. Learn more at verses.gg. Check it out.